they're not the local, they're not
London, they do a lot of public sector, charity. I mean, in fact, the team music is called, it's got a long, something like central education, charity.
One thing you did get to
Yeah, we do some really interesting organisations to audit.
but you do anyway, just people you know. It is quite interesting.
But he was saying, we were busy, because of course everyone's trying to get things done before Christmas. He said,
That's it, I mean, we've got what it is, and then we're roughly guidelines, and then we'll be shut down for Christmas. We shut right through.
Yeah.
I mean, we're allowed to go in if we want.
but he does a lot of compliance stuff.
It seems like we're a minute more away.
He seems to be the museum expert, so he does got shown those things, make sure they're insurance is compliant. It's really interesting.
I mean, they don't see it.
Oh yeah, going down High Street, they've gone 5-6 feet for quite a long way.
Oh yeah,
Not
it
only
does.
the
It's quite a big.
everyone who I said has said there's been more people.
Even with it.
But he does work a lot from home as well.
I can't do that. I said I can't do that.
That was me with you. Because I don't think that Ray should walk all that way.
You don't do what?
Ray. Thanks.
You just want to
This time of year, when I was on the council, I used to say these things about speakers. The idea of the trade
Rachel, don't it? Is it
good? Rob.
That's right. Fingers are fingers. Not rib breaking fingers, though. Right. 7:15, so we will commence with tonight's meeting. Start off with any apologies for absence, please.
Technology and compassion.
Thank you very much.
And Claire Delport as well. Claire Delport.
Claire Derrick. Okay. Right, moving on to public participation. Is there any members of the public that wish to raise any issues?
Yeah, can you tell us what are they doing on Woodland Road Estate? What the works that are going on in there?
With the
Works that are going on all round Woodland Road Estate, on the roads and bridges.
Sewage.
It's sewage.
Gas.
yes,
Well,
gas.
It's a new gas supply.
right.
Can I ask you your name, please?
So, Dean Osborne.
And then we'll have sprinkled lots
Is that anything else? Right, thank you very much. Declarations of any declarations of interest in this meeting, please.
Yep. Extension on 104 Woodland, extension on 102 Woodland, and extension on 14 Woodland Road.
Not a lot then.
Sorry. Yeah.
Declaration for the S137 payment.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anyone? You might leave leg on. Leg up showing.
Sorry, it was Tony's declaration of interest.
What else? Well, he lives there.
Woodland Road, and
Brookfield.
Springfield.
Brookfield.
Family on
Oh,
one,
so, okay, thank you.
and
Yeah.
neighbours on it, 2 Woodland Road.
Yeah.
Right, no more. Right, to confirm the minutes of the full parish on the 9th of October. Right, going through them by number, 103, 104.
Do you want me to give you a brief update?
That would be good, yes.
Yeah?
Yes, please.
So,
Was that one on 104 as well? Yeah.
104, yeah. Roger Richmond asked about the 23 Vicarage Avenue. I think the only issue that I could see, discounting is to be postponed so that we could have more objections, I think. But the issue with that is it looks as though it's destined to be a house of multiple occupancy. And under the prior legislation had to be, I think, 2-storey, or that, but it now comes under that legislation. So I'm minded to speak with officers to make sure that that is enforced. So basically they're looking at extending the whole of the ground floor of a bungalow to be separate bedrooms, 4 separate bedrooms with a small joint lounge at the back.
Because that was what was suspected looking at the application.
Yes.
They would require a separate application to change the use to
I think Roger's point was that the neighbours haven't been notified.
Yeah.
Did
And I don't think that, I think, as far as I can remember, excuse my, I just want to say emphatically, but I think that all the neighbours that needed to be notified were. But you don't have to do a widespread.
It's just the immediate.
Yes, I think that was done. The second one was Jeff Butler, whose work came along to ask about the development behind the fire station, and was querying the issue of the height of the foundations, particularly, which seemed to be significantly higher on their own. I think I reported back on the intervening meetings.
Yes,
planning.
planning. Yeah.
And in fact, Claire and I went on site at the invitation of the site manager and confirmed that what the enforcement officer had already said was that they were building to specification, in other words, to the plans that were submitted. It's a very sophisticated suburban drainage system. So we've got a pervious road surface that basically channels all the water into the gullies, and there's also a drainage basin. There's also an underground tank, all to cope with potential excessive rain. The more significant thing, I think, for the site is that all of the drainage relies on the ditches surrounding it. And we've worked with both County Council, riparian rights and responsibility officers, with South Cam awarded ditch officers to make sure, and Mike will know because the Lundy farms, the diocese land near the bypass has been cleared now. So that's part of the work that's been undertaken to ensure the drainage that these sites rely on is effective.
The water still won't get there. The water still won't get there because the ditch is blocked.
There's more work to be done. So there's more work to be done from Winemares along behind the stables on the east-west bits at that. So there's because the electricity company have got to reroute their wires to avoid the trees, and there was already some cut off. So between Crew-Base and the County Council officer, I think that would be sort of the usual time. But most of the significant work has been done now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Brian.
That's all right.
105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115.
Can I just ask if we could title of that adding an account, the word accounts at the end of the title?
What do you mean we're not opening the metro bank?
Okay.
That could be the interpretation of that.
Chemical composites.
I think that's fair comment. So we're not
Is that
opening.
throughout?
I think this is then we're opening account, so later it's open.
Okay, excuse me.
Sorry, I was just saying you need to alter that first sentence as well, to open the Metro Bank account on the first line.
It does say in that sentence to open an account.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of
We'll let the party
tautology.
decide all that.
Right, that's fine. 116, 117, 118, 119, 120.
120. I thought a couple of us had voted against that rather than abstaining because it was such a lot of money. Could we just ask them to go double check that?
We voted against it.
Yeah, we voted against it, we didn't abstain because it's pointless.
So 2 voted against.
3.
3 voted against. Okay. We can amend that.
And I say this every year, in 121, should we change Christmas fair to winter fair and it's spelled in the normal way?
Yes, as you can see on the agenda, it's written in that way.
No.
Is that the way that you want to
It's
do
the
it?
first time ever.
139, is that the right way?
Yes.
That's it.
All right. 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127.
Can I ask about this? The Diwali celebrations, were those a public event?
Second.
Were the Diwali celebrations a public event? I
They
don't-
were members only of the
But
parish.
they're members of
Things
public
that were
world
public
rights,
there.
I
yes.
don't understand why they're on the parish council agenda.
It was just that he's bringing to the parish council's,
But
because
why?
that wasn't informing us of it.
But why? If somebody's having a private party and inviting councillors to a private party, I I don't see why we're discussing.
He was trying to do it to raise the awareness through the community as well.
Well, I don't see how it's achieving that objective either.
Well, the parish council is for the community, so it's a good idea to just bring it up and raise it. I have no issues with what he done with it. He made no.
It just seems strange to me, and I think would look strange to somebody reading it, wondering why somebody's private property was appearing on their agenda.
He was just he brought it up under councillors' issues, which he has that entitled to do. When it's the council's been minute.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. 128. Proposer. Thank you. Seconder. Neil. Thank you. All in favour?
Chairman, would it be appropriate to just say thank you to everyone who's involved in the remembrance activities, because it all seemed to go very well, and there were a lot of really nice comments on Facebook, and several people also said thank you to the Parish Council for organising the flares. So I was wondering if we could just minute a thank you to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
We could also just want to have the fire. Bonfire night was a success again, and thank you to everyone.
Yeah, I think everyone enjoyed that as well. Yeah, we did.
Under that.
Yeah.
Do we know how much was raised?
Not yet. Kieran's just started.
Yes, I should finish it off tomorrow.
Thankless task.
Takes a good 2.5 hours, essentially.
Yeah, I was going to say. Right, moving on to confirm the minutes of the recreation meeting. 15th of October. Here we go. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a proposal to recommend to full council that we agree with the skate park and location in principle, and that Sawston Wheelers move forward with the process of this project. What we're saying is we're not turning it down. We're not saying we're against it or for it in any way. We're saying we're in principle we agree, and that for them to move forward so they can do their stuff. Are we happy with that?
Yes, my feeling is we've already agreed exactly that in the past.
I think the thing is what the point that, and I think Brian made it very clear, is we had to make the point that it was in principle, wasn't it?
I think the whole point of this was that previously we've never endorsed a particular location over and above any other, and that this is basically saying that this is our preferred option, and the people who are interested in putting the schemes together could go ahead on the basis of Linton Way being the place that we preferred.
Obviously, with the same caveat that we discussed before, that we can't give agreement until we own it.
Yes, are we making any progress?
No, we're still. I think from what I can gather from before is we're finding if we could take on ownership of it. The letter has gone in, hasn't it? We have sent a letter in asking that question, and we're still waiting for a reply.
But we can presumably, we had the Mooga bills and we had the playground bills, so
Yes,
stop us.
I
I think it was
ownership-
just that it was just that the discussion of the skate park made us think that we should just own it in a way because it's logical, because we're doing all the work and maintenance on it.
Okay.
And we were hoping that South Council would agree that was reasonable. So I think it would just make the process simpler.
Jen?
I was only going to say I did contact the planning department about planning permission, and there will have to be a planning application made and a pre-application meeting. So that's the process that we'll have to go through. Yeah.
So anything that big without planning permission.
So can I take it that the council are?
Well, do we need to vote?
Yeah. All those in favour? Unanimous. Number 9, Number 10, 11, what was I supposed to do? Which I did do, and some of the issues they raised were actually county council issues, which are now being discussed with the county council. Number 12, to discuss one. Oh yes, it was proposed by Councillor Brian Mills and seconded by the Councillor Janet Martin to recommend to full council we donate £340 for the shed repairs as requested. Any comments?
My only comment is that I think when we do this, we should be clear that this is not accepting any liability.
Indeed, yes.
Yes, they'll have to be without prejudice.
Exactly.
However it should be worded, I think we need to acknowledge that it's a donation rather than any admission of liability.
Yeah,
Any other?
I think that's make sure that it's not expected as well.
In favour of that? Again, unanimous.
Just to say mechanically, out of which fund do we make this donation?
Or is it charity?
Well, yes, well, except there's a, under our grants policy, we can't fund schools.
We'll have to look into that.
I mean, I'm not against this in principle, I just want to clarify.
Where the money's coming from.
Yes, what we're doing.
Okay, yeah, that's what
So
I'm
did we just have a suggestion?
Charity,
Charity.
surely.
Well, it isn't charitable charity, is it?
No.
Well, it's the charity.
Chairman's charity used to be £100 and that's all stopped now.
There is also, I think, plenty of scope within reserves, if nothing else.
But also,
Yes.
we have voted on it, so...
Yeah, so yes, it's the heading it's done under that I'm concerned about. So we just clarify that. I'll have to support
Yeah.
that, but that's, yeah.
So we clarify that it isn't from S137,
Exactly,
and therefore
yes,
it
yes.
can come out of any other budget as long as it doesn't come out of the charitable donations.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for that clarity. Yeah. 13, 14. Okay. 15, 16, 17, 18, no other recommendation, 19, let's go to a GP, 20 and 21. Can I have a proposal that's Janet and seconded Neil, all those in favour? Unanimous. Right, to confirm the meeting of the planning and planning meeting held on the 23rd of October. Having problems?
Yes, I need more.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is a recommendation to F&GP. 15, 16, and that's it. Can I have a proposal of Neil and a seconder? Janet, all those in favour? Unanimous again. Right, to confirm the minutes of the cemetery meeting. All ready? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Proposed by Councillor Kevin Duffy and seconded by Councillor Neil Reid to recommend to full to get 3 quotes for felling the trees. We don't need to do that now because after having them going on site, we thought that Alan would be capable of doing that.
Mr. Chairman, it does not going to cost us anything for a quote to fund the trees, or the tree. And I asked for another tree to be added onto this to the south side of the cemetery, which is quite a large gap down there where trees have been felled. I asked for it now, obviously it would come up in March, but knowing the citizens, when we put trees in the cemetery, sometimes it's lack of watering, we spend money and they die. I just hope that the council gives us permission to put one in the right time of the year, which is now, rather than wait till March and then get it passed for April or May.
So you're proposing 2 trees instead of one? Okay.
To be a decent tree rather than a little tiny one.
So the same one that we,
Same or
It needs to be a tree.
right?
do we need
So bigger than 16 to 18 centimetres.
To be quite honest, I haven't got any idea of what they call the girth size. That's circumference. I'd rather be 8 to 10 foot high.
Which probably is, if it's that,
Yeah, that
that big
was-
trunk, it's going to be...
It's not going to be that
You
big.
won't climb it.
It's quite a substantial tree. We're talking about 16 centimetres.
Well, I might suggest it can be bigger than that.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Well, that's tricky. We need to get quotes for those, unless...
Well, but
No, sorry.
could you not do it on Chairman's action, right? If it's up to
I
500,
could
and
do,
if
but
it needs
I'd
to go
rather the
now.
parish, the council as a whole be involved in knowing what we're doing.
The two together will probably come over
Pardon?
500. The two together will probably come over 500.
So why
It
was
wouldn't be so
You-
expensive as
You
ours.
want, yeah, you want 2 more trees in addition to the U at 300?
No,
one.
Just one more.
One more.
And why wouldn't we just double the cost of the U for a budget?
Yeah.
Well, for you, so that you can go ahead and do
Yeah.
when it's appropriate. So
So
if
I
we,
mean,
if
you
we
probably
went
won't tell me
700
yours
quid,
now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, as long as it matters within that, then basically go ahead.
that's what I was suggesting to resolve the issue now.
Yeah.
That's just the trees along the
Yeah, yeah.
Right, are we happy with that?
So trees up to £700 to
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can I
think
have
this
a...
one's have used, they want something a bit more comfortable than a U. Or are you happy with for the both to be used?
Well, we need the yew tree to replace the one behind the pavilion here. I mean, it's quite a nice tree what's in there, but it's entangled with 2 other varieties. And there's an impossibility to separate them out. And if you separate them out, it's going to make it look a mess. So it's better to start afresh with a new tree, and more or less in that vicinity of where the tree is now.
Right, so can I have a... Are you actually going to propose that then?
Yes,
Mike?
please.
Mike's going to propose that. Can I second it? All those in favour? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
7, 8, 9 is proposal for finance and general. 10 and 11. Can I have someone to Janet and Neil? All those in favour of that? True. Thank you.
Can I just say, Chairman, lovely.
Nobody else realised it. What's your answer?
Just a comment.
No,
I can't even say how nice the cemetery looks.
you should have said it before we went to the vote.
So we need to have other council officials.
No, there's other way to think straight on than you do. So it
Okay,
is
I'll say it
okay.
at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say it at the end.
Right, 137. Planning applications. The first one is 3897/18 FL, infill carports below first floor extension at 7 Stanley Webb Close. Comments, please.
I did have a look at this online. It looks fairly straightforward. It's filling in with a room
Yes.
where the carport is. I can't see it extends the footprint at all. I don't know if anyone else had a look.
Yes, and they had demonstrated how they could retain two car parking spaces on site, which was a...
So suggest we accept?
I have no problem.
Yeah.
Propose we accept?
Propose to accept?
I'm happy to
Second.
second.
Yeah. All those in favour? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 1 abstention and 1 over. Got 13 in? Yeah. Right. S3964/18 FL, single story front extension at 104 Woodland Road.
Well, it seems to me to be a very modest extension of an existing lobby, which they're basically using to get a downstairs toilet. I see absolutely no problem with this at all, particularly as the neighbour seems to be doing something very similar on the other side, and naturally that works. So I propose to
Yeah,
no objection. Yes,
Your second in, Bex, you said? That's fine. You was going to add something, Bob? No? All those in favour?
Well, I'm going to say yes.
You can say yes to this one.
Because that's not going to come before.
Right, so that's 2 and abstention. 1 abstention? Thank you, Ben. Are you sure? Absolutely sure.
Non-initial rules of
Okay, yeah. S3978/18 FL, single story rear extension at 14 Brookfield Road.
You wish
It's the
Oh, no, 102, sorry. 102 Woodland Road. Oh, yeah, there is, yeah.
This
The
one,
same front porch and a different, something on the back.
yeah, it's quite extensive on the back. I mean, I'm only pointing it out really. I'm not saying that it's not to be supported, but it is quite a lengthy extension on the back.
Has there been any comments?
All these houses have garages anyway.
For some reason, this one doesn't.
Well, I think actually, I think they may be moving it in order to accommodate this extension. I think that was the impression I got.
So any comments from the neighbours, or will it overshadow anything?
No,
It's
there's no
a
comments.
single story extension.
Propose we accept?
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a seconder for that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this time.
All those in favour? So that's 10 in favour, and 1 abstention and 2 no votes.
Clear interest.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And, right, moving on to one that I jumped the gun. 3978/18 FL, single story rear extension at 14 Brookfield Road. Comments, please.
Well, again, I did look at this. It doesn't look particularly contentious. I don't know if you had a look very
Well, it is very close to the neighbour's fence, and on the other
Yeah.
hand, it is a single story, so I don't think it would have a huge effect on the neighbours. Do we have any neighbour comments? I couldn't see any
No, I
on the
couldn't see
website.
any.
It's enlarging the existing.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah.
Going deeper and going wider.
Yes, I mean, I would propose no objection on this.
You propose, do I have a seconder?
Yep.
Kevin? All those in favour? I think that's a 10, 2 and 1 again. Okay. S3249
No,
Yes.
you don't want to get.
3959/18 FL, retrospective erection of 1.8 metre length and 1.8 closed boarded fence along the rear of highway footpath at 3 Fairfields.
Well, I had some difficulty in understanding why this application's come before us, because as members will recall, there was an earlier one, which was S330817F, which we objected to because we disputed the ownership of the highway, Virgin Highways did initially, but it was sorted out, and the applicant does have title to that, so it was approved. And I can't see why this has come back to us.
So
Could you
there was
elucidate that?
an appendix, for want of a better expression, to close the gap between the neighbours' wall and the new fence. So on the drawing there are 4 or 3 amendments to the original drawing. But I mean, this is retrospective.
It's
So it's now something.
So I would first we make no comment.
Yeah, I would say no.
Yeah,
So, Kim, Bet seconded. All those in favour? Unanimous. Excellent. S324918FL, proposed single-storey front extension and pitched roof to existing flat roof rear extension at 30 Springfield Road. Comments, please.
The only is I felt the pitch roof was an improvement on what was there at the moment. And again, the front extension is very similar to the ones you looked at on there in Woodland Road, so I would propose no objection.
Second that.
What's second that? Right, all those in favour of that? So that's 11-1-1. Right, tree, S409618TC, T1, Mulberry reduced crown by 0.5 of a metre.
That's my question, is that half a metre to a metre, or is it something else? And then is
Half a
it
metre to a metre.
3/4 or 3/4? And if it's 3/4, why don't we just say 0.75 metres?
Well,
Is that
I think it's 0.5 to 1 and then 3 to 4.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, 3 oblique/4 doesn't mean 3 to 4, does it?
No, it doesn't mean 3/4.
It
That's actually
means
meant
3 divided by 4.
So it's a bit like...
reduced crown 3 to 4 metres.
It's not that important when it's a sycamore, but if it was a more interesting mature tree, then it would make a big difference that 4 metres is quite a lot to take on something.
I actually couldn't see any reasons given for the reduction.
Are they on the ones through 8 or not?
Yes.
Yes, they are with conservation
It's
areas.
probably-
They are protected trees,
Yes.
both of them. But I couldn't see any reasons given in the documentation, unless anyone else could.
No, I couldn't.
No. So
I
it
mean,
would be helpful to have reasons.
having looked at the photograph that was included in the application, I would say that this is a purely sort of non-expert assessment. I thought the sycamore in particular looked as if it was quite top-heavy actually. So I could see as I say, I don't blame the special expertise.
Yes,
that's right. Yes.
I personally have no problems with it. So do I have a proposer?
Well, I'm sure it seems sensible, but we do want to make sure that people give good reasons before locking bits
We
of
can pull that in
conservation
mind.
area.
Yeah,
I really think we should, because we've had a couple of things recently where there was no good reason given.
And it's interesting that in the application form it says, please provide the information, tree species, description of works, e.g., and then it says, oak fell because of excessive shading and low amenity value.
Yes.
It suggests exactly that you give those kind of reasons, and then it doesn't.
To make that comment.
And there was no suggestion in the application that there was any issue with disease of the trees, so it's in both as being healthy.
Yeah, the issue that I spot with sycamores is they're very fast growing
Yes.
and typically
Well,
self-feeding.
weeds in trees and aren't they? But I just think just as a matter of
The seeds you can't really have an objection to. That's it could be territory.
Given this application that's being put in by a tree surgeon, I think it's it's all the more reason to make sure that they supply reasons when they're putting in TPO applications.
Yeah. So do I have someone to make a proposal?
I'll propose support with those comments.
Yes. With those comments. Do I have a second?
Second,
David? All those in favour? Unanimous. Okay, sorry. Anyone against?
Yeah.
One against.
Sometimes don't see me.
You're hiding in the background. Right, for information only. S3806, do you want to go through reading it out? It is for information only. Yes? No?
No, that's what I mean, there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, Brian wants to
Chair.
comment.
Sorry, I just realised which topic we were on. One of the interesting things about the former Marley site is the amount of traffic that was in the original extant planning application was much lower than we would expect to be on the site now. And I think that has an impact on the overall traffic, particularly with the forthcoming H1B and C developments. And I think one of the things that I've spoken to Colin about is getting the data from the speed sign that's erected just in front of Grove Road, so that we can actually use that data to compare and contrast with the travel plan, not only in this, but the one that's included within the planning application for H1B coming up for approval soon.
Yeah.
So that's just a comment about that whole plan traffic data.
Yes, I mean, 268 private car movements, they suggested on that site, seemed quite high in view of the efforts they're supposed to be making to their travel plan. Anyway, just a comment.
Right, anything else on the second discharge? No?
So, yes, we have a question for those of you who are here there. The contamination remediation strategy, is this to do with the skinning works and versions of carbon tetrachloride?
Part of it was ethylene dichloride and chlorinated hydrocarbons. I think it's best.
There you go.
It wasn't a single substance basically. So some of it seems to be. But I see in the report there were also heavy metals in there, and also the one which caught my eye is benzopyrene, which is quite potent carcinogen, which is found in quite low levels on there.
And what I've read online is that there was a proposal for contamination remediation, because this is a flume of contamination that goes down towards the former spices site, and it's why there are signs around in that area where it warns people it's not drinking water, or should be avoided. And I'm seeing a request for discharge of conditions, but I don't know what work, if any, has been done to remediation.
Well, sorry. I mean, there's a remediation project which basically was designed to address contamination of the plume, which was instigated around about 2000. I mean, Tony will certainly remember.
It's quite a high.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certainly
People were taken out of their houses and
yeah.
drilling inside the houses was going on.
I mean, there was an issue with the ones in Brookfield Road. Some of the older ones only had earth foundations, and they put membranes in some of those, I think, didn't they? From what I recall.
Yeah.
But that is ongoing. I mean, you can see there. Basically, it consisted of them sinking tubes containing basically iron filings to try and absorb the halogenated hydrocarbons, which are the main problem.
Yeah.
And you can see those on the spices field still, actually, when you see the caps on them. As I said, that was aimed to address the issues of the plume going off the site, not actually on the site.
sorry, just to clarify, because I've been looking at the document, my understanding is that the condition was that there should be a contamination remediation strategy, and what this is doing is showing that a consulting firm has been appointed in order to produce one. So the scope of work that they're currently doing is to produce a strategy. So they're doing, by the look of it from the document, they're doing a whole load of monitoring, but not actually, it doesn't show them actually doing anything.
Thank you, and that's confirmed what my understanding was, because I saw a remediation strategy document, but never saw any implementation of it.
Right, yeah.
So maybe the stuff that you're referring to with the own filings was I don't know whether it was part of a test or part of one.
Well, there are whole chapters in environmental textbooks on this. There was actually an environmental test case going back from 1990s to the early 2000s. So I won't bore the details into this because we could be here for about an hour discussing this.
It's not done.
So yeah, if you want to talk about it afterwards, I'm happy to.
Okay, so moving on, full road closure on access roads to Spices from A1301 on the 24th of 1st, 2019 at
Midnight 5.
till the 25th of the 1st, 2019 at 4:40 in the morning. I'm assuming that's just general repair work or maintenance work.
I think from the document that Claire forwarded, I think it was actually more than just this one night. I think there were a couple of nights there
Well,
was
there's more than one night. I thought it was nearly a week.
But it's only the access road and Spices and not the whole carriageway, is it?
No.
Okay. Just don't work right.
Thank you.
And it's a little right, so...
Right. Accounts for the month of October. Any comments?
Query on income, so on the income list, third up from the bottom, there's what looks like an individual's name, Sean Marcus Coxon, and I just wondered what that was and why it doesn't have an organisation associated with it, because it can't actually be a person if it's classed as the village, can it?
Income.
I don't know what that is actually, sorry.
It's a committee.
680 Margaret Scottish Spice Village.
Yeah, £680. Could we just make
I'll make a note of that.
Make a note of
Just
the
check
that.
Yeah.
because we ought to
I'm
have the
sure,
name, if it's
yeah.
a sports club, we ought to have their name on it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
So they have
fine.
it.
I'm sure it is that.
And the emergency call-outs fix the alarm. It's quite a saying, I just wondered why that wasn't covered by a contract, but I guess it was broke then. It wasn't.
Apart from that, can I...
Just one minor detail really, on the income as well, all the payments, or a lot of the payments we've received from allotments. I just wondered if it might be better if we put Mr. and Mrs. instead of just a surname.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Well, it's funny that if you have a doctorate, you get your title. but
Indeed.
If you don't, otherwise you don't get
You're
it.
not mentioned.
That's fine, yes.
I would have thought that would be a whole load of extra faff, and many of them may be family plots, so it won't be relevant.
I still think it doesn't look right. It's not proper grammar. Is it?
Well, also, it's not consistent because some are Misters and some, numbers don't.
And my comment tends to do with Becky in terms of just...
Because I really
It's just a surname.
It's just some people fill in their tenancy agreement with Mr. and Mrs. and some people fill in their first name and their surname.
I wouldn't have thought it was a good use of last time to go through a load of forms and add in titles. I sort of know where you're coming from, but I really don't think it's...
Well, the alternative is that we don't put names on the
But then, having both actually helps you to catch errors, because it's easy to type a number on. If you've got a name as well, it's easier to catch errors. So.
But in terms of data protection, it would be better if it doesn't have names.
Because this is a public document
Yeah.
after all.
Yeah.
Anything else? No, can I have a proposal, please?
Yes.
You've done it. Now, seconder, Neil, all those in favour? Right, 139, S137 donation request from Sawston Winter Fair.
We haven't seen this, have we?
I think it's brought forward from the last, we put the application in slightly after the time for the last four, didn't
We
we?
haven't actually seen anything. That's the problem.
The application was sent in before the agenda went out last week. So, but I can tell you what it is, which is
Yes,
for
yeah.
£90
Yeah.
for the face painter. If you would like me to go through the various different reasons,
£100, you say?
90 please.
Oh, 90.
If you'd like me to go through the various reasons of what the Sawston Winter Fair is and why it was relevant to Sawston, then I'm very happy to explain.
I think we're all familiar with that, actually.
Well, I think with the note that we ought to have the application form in front of us, but I think given the scale and the timing,
Exactly.
I'd be happy to propose that we make a donation of £90.
Yeah, no,
I just need to
Who can second that?
Yes.
All those in favour? That's 12 possible.
Who seconded that? Sorry.
David.
Sorry. Thank you.
12 and then possible, no.
So that's a key.
Who do?
No, I'll vote against.
You can vote against? No. You sure? Right, discuss machine servicing. Have you got them,
I do.
please?
So we only got 2 quotes. Oh, just trying my
Well, one more than last time.
I'm going to let you look at that one then.
Right, so,
Because
thank
it's
you.
broken up into 3 sections, which I don't really understand. So you've got, this is one, and then you've got the John Deere, and then here. So I don't know if you want to read them out.
So the total is 710.
Yes, you've got,
Right.
compare that one to that one.
Right, so we've got the 3 sections it is. The first one is to service the Ransoms, which one quote is for £687, £86.87 pence. Is that not including that?
Let me see.
They including that or not that?
Not including that.
That doesn't include that.
That's not including that either.
And the second quote is £710, which doesn't include that.
Mhm.
So, that's for the,
There's not much.
not much in it, so
Would they go for the cheap one?
same straight,
The only,
it's all the same.
yeah, see, we use those a lot.
Yeah. Okay, one of them we particularly use a lot of, whereas the other one.
Mr. Chairman, is it worth us looking at the 3 sections together? Because if the total bill for one of the companies comes out cheaper, then it might be worth doing.
Right, so you've got for the first section on one,
That's the one you just did.
686.87. For the service, the elect tournament 20, it comes to 23837, and the second one is 345 plus VAT. All these are plus VAT. And the third one is to service the John Deere, which comes to £347.32 and £395.
So the difference overall is quite significant.
It is, yes, yeah.
So the first company you mentioned is cheaper on all of them, so I propose, unless
Second that, yeah.
you have any objections to using them, I think we ought to
You're proposing, you're seconding? All those in favour? Unanimous. Right, to discuss H1B section S106 requirements, we did ask, send an email out asking for people to put suggestions in. You've got the list of suggestions.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have got, so that's what you put in, and this is what Jan.
Right, so we received from Janet 6 suggestions.
Well, they were, can I just preface,
Go.
Chairman, just to say that I asked the neighbourhood plan group, so these are their suggestions,
Yes.
when they met on the 8th last week.
Okay.
So these are their
so
suggestions.
Number one is, do you want
Oh, rather
read them
than
out?
six. Yeah, okay. They're not in any particular order. One was the new pavilion at the football stadium. The second was improved bus services to the new site, including a shuttle to the high street. The third was equipment on Linton Way for older children, 12 to 16-year-olds. Fourth was
Sorry, what's it, Linton Way? Improved?
equipment for
Oh,
older
yeah.
children. Do you remember at the last meeting there was a similar suggestion on Mill Lane?
Just one.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the fourth one was allotments for use of new site residents. There was also a suggestion about improving the snooker club facilities at the Church Institute. I think that probably is better under section 107, but I don't know. I put it in there simply because it was brought forward. It was about improving their facilities. Snooker club being used by about 60 to 70 Sawston residents. That's in the little building at the end of Shingay Lane. And the sixth one was renovation of the old drying shed. Although I think what did we say about that, David?
Lost cause. I think.
Well, also, isn't it private land? So I just mention it because it was brought in. So that it's really the first four: the new pavilion, the improved bus services, Linton Way, equipment, and allotments.
I thought we also mentioned improving the cycleway provision all the way down Baden Road into the centre.
Oh, did we?
We
Okay.
did actually.
Sorry,
yes,
I haven't got that down.
I mean,
So
the ones that I
cycleway.
put forward, it actually incorporates that. One is to upgrade pathways and cycleways. Two is a blanket 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. And three is traffic safety measures to be put through the village.
Can I just have one?
Becky.
Sorry, are you just listing suggestions at the moment? Because I sent one
Yes.
back to Jo as well.
Oh, did you?
We've got that listed.
Oh, sorry, she didn't pass that on to me.
What was the one you sent back, Beck?
I've suggested that I think at some stage we should not renew the lease with Vindis, and I think we should think about building a simple and functional village hall on the Vindis land, because I think with the increased population of the village we're going to need it, and that's one really central site we have.
Right. Brian?
Actually, those of you that were on the plan before, can we not condition the cycleway along Bayland Road by that development without spending section 106? So I'm thinking,
There's
I think you can along the frontage. I think
Yes.
this is something as soon as you. I was talking. I think we were talking about improvements all the way down to the traffic lights, actually, which is offside.
There is another, that could also be included, there may be a possibility of that being included in the Greenways project as well. So there are sort of three options, yes, 106, asking the builders to extend it, and the Greenways project. So
I think on their frontage we can certainly get them
Yes.
condition that.
So, are we happy to forward all of the suggestions made and see what we can get back, and see what comes back, what feedback we get?
Yeah.
Do we need to specify vague amounts for
We should.
them?
It would be much better for us if we took those figures that James provided.
Sorry,
and
if we what?
said, so James Fisher provided an overall budget figure that he sent, and I think it would be much better for us if we allocated those figures that he sent about what we want to say. So on the new pavilion, so it's allocated against the right bit of budget.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Yes, I mean, there's also a separate list by 6 requirement, which is in policy, it has been for a number of years, of public art, which I think we also ought to mention.
Yeah, I think some public art might
We're
be
certainly
nice in
favourable.
the new site.
I believe that there was already some included in the planning permission.
For Bainham. For Bainham.
No, I think the developers,
Oh, okay.
if I remember rightly, there was something
You mentioned, I mean, it was a big application. I mean, I couldn't see these. They mentioned one in relation to Bainham, which was
Yeah.
putting in statues along the path leading up to Bainham Church. But okay, my feeling was there ought to be something either on that site or actually within Salisbury, because that's quite a long way from the site. No?
Okay, right, so we're happy to take those forward with your suggestion of the development costings and pricings. Alright, all happy with that? Yeah. To discuss an ACV, asset community value on the Greyhound.
So does this mean that there isn't one?
There is one. There is one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah.
Because I asked about it specifically last time.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
The reason it's put on the agenda is we couldn't find, we just couldn't
I
find
don't
one.
think, yeah, we couldn't find one.
Can we have one already then?
No, I think we did one for the King's Head, but not the Greyhound, I think.
No, I specifically asked last time.
I'm sure we did one specifically for the Greyhound. Last time it was under threat.
How long do
I
they
mean, I
last?
checked that, well, indefinitely.
They don't expire after a time.
But in that case, if we can't find the details about it, does it exist?
Can we,
Well, there should be a record of South Council.
can we contact Sarah Council?
Yeah.
Please.
So do you need a formal proposal to do that? In which case I'll
No.
make if you need.
No, it's just that we can contact our CAMs, if it's in place, it's in place.
Yeah, but if it's not in place, then we need to
Yeah.
The
formally agree to
Quite some time ago. Yeah.
get, to apply for one.
Yeah, because I asked last time about what we did have an ACV on, and I got told there was one, David mentioned. But are there any ACVs on other pubs in Salisbury?
There's one on the line.
One on the
Well,
line.
yeah,
Yeah.
for now.
We've just said the King's Head, haven't we?
Yeah.
King's Head, the line, we haven't got one on the ball,
I
have
don't
we?
think we have, no.
No, so that's, I mean, would anyone, going back to Beck's point, if we haven't got an ACV, is the council happy?
I think we also propose it second.
Second.
Probably.
Dave's proposal.
Suppose, we'll up at second, that if there is no ACV, that we go ahead. All those in favour?
What about the Black Ball? Is it actually open at the moment, or is it
It's
closed?
a Chinese.
Closed.
Is it closed now, the Chinese?
Well,
Oh, the big one's still open.
The blackboard is
is it?
still just takeaway, isn't it?
Yeah, the takeaway's still open.
Oh, is
The
it?
table still,
Yeah, but
We
the
don't see so
pub's
much
down.
activity around there in the evening, so some.
Alright,
So, do we want to do anything about that? Do we think
We've taken the vote.
Yeah. I thought that included the.
we said, well, if any ACVs we haven't got, we would go ahead with.
Yeah.
Right, another 143, to discuss public conveniences in Salisbury. This has come about because there have been some complaints going around regarding the lack of public conveniences in Salisbury. So it's a case of general comments on views. Right.
I think, irrespective of the lack of others, the outside toilet for radar type entry has been locked, and so if there's nobody in the council offices, it can't be used. And I know that there was some problems with vandalism previously, but I'm not sure that that's a justification for closing that, because there are no other public facilities for disabled people to use the toilets in the vicinity of High Street.
I agree.
So you're saying that it's locked and
Hold
not
on,
just locked?
please. What's
Sorry,
the
Mark.
So I know that in some places where they've had these problems, they've asked local businesses if they would be happy to
We want
basically
it in place.
put a sticker up in their window and just say we are very happy for people to come in and use the facilities because we don't have them otherwise. So would we be able to see if local businesses are happy for people to pop in and use the toilet? I mean, it's something that people would do anyway, most likely, but it's letting people know that we've got something, even if we don't have proper, actual, dedicated public loo.
But we've got, sorry,
Hold on. Kieran?
Well, no, I was referring back to the previous issue, so.
Yeah, something was saying to me that if you can get a sort of a medical card that says, for instance, you have something like IBS and that enables you to go into any business and ask if you can use their toilets. But I think actually a system where businesses sign up is so much nicer than having to do that, because I can't imagine that is going to be horribly embarrassing for somebody. So I think it would be a nice thing to do. And it's something that the Village magazine have considered talking to businesses about, because we have relationships with quite a lot of sorts of businesses. And so it might be something that we could do rather than the parish council. We're probably in a better position to.
Okay.
I also just want to add, with our toilet, there is, don't quote me on it, but I know there's people that are disabled that have got a key.
Yes, so the radar system.
Yeah, so some, even though it's closed, locked, they can still use it.
But that, as I understand it, that is not available to radar users, which it should be. I mean, it was provisioned there as a disabled toilet, but I understand that it's permanently locked, and you can only get access if you knock at the door and ask to have access, which is obviously only available when somebody's out manning the office.
So if you have a radar key, you run
No,
yeah,
no, I believe, my understanding is that it is.
I think they
double
can
locked.
unlock it.
It's double locked.
I believe so. I believe it's got a secondary lock.
Well, I only lock it with one key.
So
Yeah, but the radar key system is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different system.
Sure,
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I will.
We'll check into that.
So yes, we need to
Can
check.
I make a formal proposal then that the toilet isn't left locked? There doesn't seem there's no point having a radar key system if we then double check it so that people can't use that.
Well, when we're there, that's the first thing I do, is I open the toilet door and then I open up, and when I leave, that's the last thing I do. So no one knocks and uses the toilet. So then, like you say, then when we lock it, then what's the point in the radar key?
No, so
But why are you having to unlock it when you go there if there's a radar key system
Yeah.
that lets other people in?
Because then the public use it as
No.
well.
Well, not if it's only open with the radar key, otherwise I don't see what the point of the radar key is.
Radar key
I
is
don't
a
understand
special
the
key.
radar.
okay, so radar key is a system by which disabled people are able to unlock disabled toilet facilities.
But it's always unlocked when we're there.
Yes,
But
but
it
that's
needs
what
to be
I'm
unlocked when you're not there, otherwise there's no point.
Hold on, can we just have one concept? Brian's trying to explain the situation here.
I think we're all, so what we have, as far as I'm aware, is this double locking system. So you have to unlock it for anybody with a radar key to be able to use it. So it's not...
But everybody uses it.
we know.
You can just walk in and out of it, you don't use it.
No,
You don't need the radar key. So what you're saying is the double locking system, the radar key should automatically
There's no-
unlock that.
You should override it.
Should override it, and it's not.
Yeah, so
It's
anybody
an
can use
application.
it, whether you use
Isn't that what
radar
you
key.
said?
Right,
There's two locks there. There's the one for the radar key, and there's one a bit further up, which
We
it's
would
locked.
use.
And if you lock that one, we can't get in with our radar keys.
And the public can't get in without a radar
No.
key.
And it,
So when you
it
unlock
costs-
it only makes it unlocked for radar key.
It doesn't, because you just pull the handle and open the door.
Oh, okay. So the
Sounds
radar key
like that.
system
Can
isn't
I-
working.
Can I propose that we get our toilet door fixed so that people with a radar key can unlock it and people without a radar key can't unlock it? So it's usable 24 hours a day to people with radar keys, because otherwise I can't see that there's
Yes.
any...
that's not a problem, that's something we would...
Hang on, this one.
Yeah,
So if the radar system is
but
broken,
if
which it
none of us
sounds
here
like,
know how the heck it's supposed to work and it doesn't seem to actually work at all, can we simply get it fixed and stop
we
discussing
can
how
look
we want
into
it
it
to be
as to
fixed?
why it's not working properly, yes.
But what can we not just agree to get it fixed? Can we agree a sum of money to pay to get it fixed so that people can actually
Well,
use
we don't
it?
know if it's broken.
I'll
Well,
check,
we've
yeah, Joe's
got to make the inquiry first, don't we? You're asking the impossible question. Until we know if there is an issue, if there is an issue, then we will deal with that
It
issue.
didn't seem an impossible question to say, can I propose that if it's broken, we get it fixed and pay some
As a statement of principle, the parish council should agree that it should be available to people with a radar key 24/7.
Yeah,
I think
so
we
can
can vote on that.
I propose that as a matter of
Yes,
principle?
yes,
And
that's
then-
a reasonable-
And I'll happily
Yeah,
second
okay,
that.
so-
Mr. Chairman, this door has been unusable for the last 3 years at least.
Right.
yes.
Okay, Right, we've had the proposal
We're just
here, we've had a
proposing to do
second.
something about it, so let's do something.
Do we all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Could we also make some effort to publicise it, to make sure that everybody who's
Can
disabled...
we have a make comments before we take the vote, please?
Well, that's what, only one suggestion.
There wasn't any point making the suggestion before we taken the vote, because we might not have still have actually had one.
You could have already put it in the comments.
But we can have more than one action point per item.
Right. Well,
So we've got, we've just
We're-
voted on a very
We're
specific
discussing public
issue
conveniences in
rather than
Salisbury.
the wider public convenience. But
we voted on the issue that's on the agenda.
No, we're still discussing the issue that's on the agenda.
No, no.
We've taken the vote on it.
We've taken the vote.
We've taken a vote on the related proposal.
Right, so I am actually moving it on, and we have taken on board what you've said. Okay?
Let's just make sure that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Once we've got it fixed.
Right, next item is to confirm the date of the bonfire night in 2019. 2nd of November.
Yeah, Saturday. It's right in the middle.
Tuesday, Saturday.
Are we happy with the 2nd of November?
Second.
All agreed?
Yeah.
Bex? You're saying, are you starting again, no? You agree with the 2nd of November?
We're waiting for, we need a vote.
All right.
Right, 145, update on village sign. Colin?
No, that's speak
Let's keep camera next morning.
Village sign is better.
Sorry, Beck.
Yes. I need to sit down with Mary Dickon and discuss it because it's related to other signage that the Chalice Trust want to have. And she's been marking exams, been insanely busy, and I've been insanely busy through October, so we haven't actually managed to meet. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, that's fine. 146, the update of the speed camera.
It's now moved to Baker Road, as you probably know. It's now stopped playing around with the modes. It's now in a mode that shows your speed if you're below 30 miles an hour.
Notice that. Yes, yeah, that's what it is.
Flashing green flags.
And it goes red if you go above 34 miles an hour, to go to red. It does, from where it is now, from where it was in London Road, it does suggest that by using the speed sign, over the period that it's there, it does reduce the speed that people, the number of cars that break the speed limit is reduced by 20%.
Oh, really?
That's what it suggests.
Have you actually got to physically go past it? If you turn to go in the trade park?
No, it takes, from where it is now, it will record you from about where the pedestrian crossing is.
So that's actually quite useful vis-a-vis the
Yes.
data collection. So
So it will be moved, if you look at Salford, there's 5 ways of getting in and out of Salford, basically. So I'm looking at 10 positions going in and out. It's going to take me the best part of a year to come up with statistics for the whole of Salisbury. I would like to propose that we get an additional speed sign at some point and put it in the budget. These have come down in price since the first look. They were in excess of about £5,000. I can now get one for, and this will include a smiley face.
Oh, wonderful.
The new ones now are smaller. That weighs 17 kilograms, which, when you're up a pair of steps, it's reasonably heavy. The new ones are 11 kilograms. They're sort of more rectangular, and it includes a smiley face. It does all the functionality of that one does. That comes in at £2,672 and 55p at today's price.
Was there any on
It
Black
may
Friday?
change next year.
Was there any on Black Friday?
Also, in addition, I now control the one at Baybrook, so I'm doing that one. I've also had a word with Parish today. yesterday, and they want to come on board with us as well. So,
Yeah. Are you taking over the whole of Cambridgeshire?
well, the whole of the UK actually.
Yes, yeah.
So I am producing a sort of a tube map, a map of everywhere coming in and going out of sorted over, which I sent out to anybody who wants to see it. So that's where we are at the moment.
So we can, regarding your proposal, we put that on for the next fall,
Yeah.
and then we can discuss that then. You happy with that?
Would it not be good, yeah, as Brian says, to put it on F&GP agenda? So
Yeah, I'm happy with it, yeah.
The budget?
Yeah.
Or consider it for the budget?
Yeah.
Please. I'm hoping to get, say, with Baberham and Patterson, I'm hoping to get them on board, because then I can get a reduction in price if I hold the, the odd 10, 20, 30, 40 and I'm getting reduced.
Tony?
Yeah, I mean, Collins told us about moving it about, which is great. But where it is at the moment, it seems silly, in my mind, that you're taking 100 yards from the boundary of the village there, so that's people going out. That's where it should be, is on the other side, because the people come down that road at 50 or 60 miles an hour and don't slow down. So that's where it should be, on the other side of the road, as you come in from Baberham.
It will be on the other side of the road.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it seems counterproductive when it's only 100 yards from the exit of the
Well,
village.
you've got to bear in mind, it does take, where it is now, it takes its measurement of where the pedestrian crossing is, which is 100 yards further back.
Yeah.
So
Well, they
it's
shouldn't be speeding.
it's not when you pass the side, it's 100 yards before you get to the side.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
If we're going to consider it at F&GP, could we have something a bit more formal than just a verbal report? Because I think if we're going to spend that kind of money, we want to be absolutely certain that it's...
Yeah, I will be, like I did last time, I will be producing where it is now another report, which, what do people want to see on this report? I mean, obviously important the number of people breaking. I mean, I can do like when the busiest hour is, I can do...
I mean, I think for me, what I think you need to do is break it down into strategic areas. So you need peak hours,
Yeah, peak hours.
movement in and out where you can, general speeding, and then for me, the other one is actually the amount of vehicle and movements. Knowing how many vehicles are coming in and going out of the village.
Yeah.
Fine.
So the raw data is the raw data. The question is what we do with that data. So we've got all the traffic movements, we've got the speed, and so on. And for me, one of the useful things about these signs is that they will give you proper evidence for any decisions. That was the whole purpose for us to embark on the process, wasn't it? And we've got, as Colin said, we've got main entrance roads in and out, and we ought to do, to answer Tony's question, inbound and outbound directions on all of them. And if we want that data quicker than with the one sign that we've got, then buying another one would be obviously an obvious thing to do. But it depends on whether we've got a timeliness issue, I would suggest. So we've got to either wait for the data, or we spend some more money and get it more quickly.
Don't you need data that can demonstrate whether or not the speed cameras actually make a difference or not?
It was
If
suggested...
we're going to justify the purchase of one, then that's what you need, the data to demonstrate or not demonstrate.
Well, the one at London Road, which is down there, or Cambridge, London Road, it did demonstrate over the period it was there for 9 weeks. If you look at the people that wrote this video, that's in excess of 34 miles an hour. That was around 250 a week to begin with, but when I took it away, it was down to 200. Now you could say that's a bit of a fluke, but if we keep moving it around, wherever it goes, it shows a reduction in speed or people breaking the speed.
Okay, well that's what I want to see, I think, is actual data from which we
Well,
can
it does,
use
I do
what
break it down
percentage.
into weekly totals, it should demonstrate that, we think we're making a difference.
Janet?
Yeah, I was going to back Colin up on that, because looking at Royston, where I go a lot, I mean, they've got 2 cameras, and I think it does make a difference. I mean, you can see people slowing down because they can see it, and over time, I think it lodges in people's minds what the speed limit is. And I think if you look at it overall in the context of road safety in Sawston, we've got lots of road safety issues, not just speed. There's all the parking on double yellow lines, parking on the pavement, etc. It's all kind of part of a big, raising awareness about safer driving. So I think the data is really useful, and of course for planning applications as well.
Absolutely.
So we can see what the weight of traffic is.
Well, that was the follow-up I wanted to make, that whilst the objective that you're talking about is an important one, I think what Brian was saying earlier is also equally important, that actually getting raw data about traffic movements is as important for us to invest to have that data that belongs to us. Is another important objective, not just demonstrating that we're reducing actual speeding offences.
And I think one of the issues that I'm unsure about, I'm not sure that the overall data will support or deny the question of a small number of people that will speed irrespective of the circumstances and whether there's any speed detection equipment. So, for me, watching people get up to 60 miles an hour before they get to Mill Lane recreation point, these measures aren't going to make any difference to those people.
But the thing is if we get those, what we can do is put traffic calming measures in to slow people down. So that information will become relevant at that time. And there was always going to be the element of the public that will always speed, no matter, even if you put speed humps in, they're still trying to go over that speed, unless they've got very low cars and they realise they could do some damage. That's the main one. Anyone else? No? Right. Yeah, County Council report. Shall I take this one? Right, I'm assuming you all received a copy of the County Council report?
No.
It is on the website. I did send it out when they circulated. Okay. Quite long, so I'm going to mainly raise some highlights. First one being that on Tuesday the 23rd of October, the Cambridge General Purposes Committee, County Council General Purposes Committee agreed to invest £3.4 million in out the smoothing fund to go into the children's services. This is due to the fact that from November 2018, the Cambridgeshire County Council organises its services for safeguarding and supporting vulnerable children is set to change. The items, the areas they're looking to change are social work teams based in districts led by non-case holding team managers who can provide more support and challenge, linking in to early help teams who already work in this way and are working well with our partners in schools and health. Easier referrals into council contact centres with trained call handlers able to make faster decisions on all clear-cut cases and referring only complicated or unclear issues onto social workers. Lower caseloads for social workers overall, with more resilience built into larger teams. 2 new dedicated teams focused on adolescents in the north and south of Cambridgeshire. More child practitioners focused on working with children in need and able to undertake more sustained and in-depth work. Regarding the adults, the government...
There have been quite a lot of recent cuts to children's centres, haven't there? Is this funding reinstating previous cuts? Will children's centres have the same amount of funding as they used to have, or is it a partial recompense?
When you say cuts to children's centres,
A heck of a lot of cuts, yeah.
Well, take into consideration Sawston's getting a brand new children's centre, that's...
Well, I don't think any of us are counting on that happening anytime soon, but I don't think, I mean, that's building, that's not staff.
Yeah, but we should have more facilities. This is going to go into children's, this issue with this is mainly with children who are safeguarding, regarding fostering and...
Yeah, they basically had to cut back their provision because their funding fees they had to cut back provision, so they're really focusing on absolutely the worst off children, but that means that anybody who's sort of borderline has to be ignored. So is this extra funding taking them back to where they were before, or is it not as much as that, do you know?
That question I would have to come back to you with.
Okay, I think that would be useful to know, because it's been cut continually over the last few years.
Yeah, I can find that information and come back to you on that one. That's not a problem. Adult. The government has issued a one-off payment of 2.3 million from the government to alleviate pressures on the NHS this winter, getting patients home quicker and filling up hospital beds. They're saying it's for winter, but it is really an annual thing, all year round. As we're all aware, that people are living longer, and the demand on services, due to the increasing number of people now living for longer, with a sharp rise in complex needs for later in life. So that's
Sorry, Gavin, I don't understand this one either. I've actually had a copy of your report, so I'm looking at it as well. So it's a payment from the government to county council to alleviate pressures on the NHS. So is that a payment to the NHS, to our local hospitals?
No, it goes to the county council for their care services. So we can supply care services or free up beds to help stop bed blocking.
So care services, did you
Care
say?
services. Adult social care. So we should alleviate the pressure on the NHS so they would have more beds and they could be dealing with the issues instead of people being still in hospital that could actually be at home.
Yeah, it is for elder social care and earlier discharge. But it would be good, Kevin, if in the future we could have some report on the use of that money and its success. That would be really helpful.
I can give you the reports if you
Well,
want.
a summarised one, but yeah, it would
Well,
be good
they
to
can
know
get us
that it's
all.
actually making an impact, I think.
Yeah,
Would be
that's a
good.
fair point, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fair comment, Jack.
Thank you.
Second or...
No.
Thank you. Alright, there's also other issues regarding the groundbreaking housing support services launched in Cambridgeshire, a new floating support service for adults who are at risk of homelessness or need support to set up their new home launches this month in Cambridgeshire. That was back in October. You can check out online all about that. New support services brings drug and alcohol treatment to the door of our communities. So the health department are looking at the impact of drug and alcohol treatments and obviously abuses that's involved with that. The North Stowe Education Campus is going well ahead with planning permission has been granted for Cambridgeshire, largest education campus, which once completed will provide teaching and learning facilities for more than 3,000 students aged 0 to 19. The Cambridge County Council has received the go-ahead to develop phase 1 of the North Stowe Education Campus in partnership with South Cambs District Council and Homes England, HE, the Government National Housing Agency. The first phase of the campus will cost around 45 million, includes a secondary school, a multi-purpose school hall, theatre space and drama studios, a sports hall large enough for 4 tennis courts, a gym, 2 dance studios, an all-weather floodlit football pitch and a 110-place special education needs school. And goes on and on and on. Community and Partnerships, which is another one, which is a committee that I am the Vice Chair of, is they're moving to having discussions regarding hate crime. There was concerns with the hate crime that spiked with the referendum that we had, and there are some undertones and concerns regarding hate crime having a spike in again and probably being more significant after next March's announcements. So we are looking into how we can address that and hopefully reduce or have some impact on stopping hate crime or reducing it.
Is this looking at purely physical crimes, or is it looking at online abuse and similar topics?
It's looking at every form of hate crime.
Okay, in that case, I think it's missing a category. I think it lists race and ethnicity, but it doesn't list sex. And there's a lot of online abuse that relates to misogyny and sexism.
Sexual orientation.
Or gender.
Gender.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
technically it's sex, not gender, but whichever one you want to call it, it's not in your list.
Yeah,
It's gender if you're talking about trans issues, isn't it? So,
They're two technically different things,
well, that can, I can take that back. Yeah, that's absolutely, no, I have no problem with that.
Well, especially if we're considering online abuse, it's one of the...
Yeah, and there is a lot, and sort of like sexting and all these other things that are going on out there. The other one is regarding the budget announcement. The Department of Transport has revealed how the £420 million announced in the budget will be spent in, and it means an extra £6.6 million will come to Cambridgeshire County Council, and that's all to dealing with the potholes, the repair of highways, and everything else. And it goes on to saying that at the moment we have a number of ways to fix potholes, including 3 of our own dragon patches that can repair up to 150 potholes a day. There was obviously concern regarding this in the fact that we had a very sharp winter last year and potholes were just overtaking and overpowering, and hopefully this will help to address those matters. And I think, the other one as well, as it was on the agenda tonight, something I think really important and we should take it on board, is the public lavatory levy. The government will be provided 100% relief for all public toilets. However, the OBR suggests that a boom in the provisions of public conveniences seems unlikely. And just so those issues you may wish to know. That's me. Any
Kevin, quite apart from the puns, what did that actually mean? They were funding them or what?
No, that you won't be charged rates.
You won't be charged rates for having a public toilet.
But it's a bit tricky seeing as we've disposed of all the public lavatories.
Well, and the rates weren't particularly the problem.
Which is the point I was trying to make. Right, moving on, Brian.
in South Cambridge.
So, question on your county councillor's report, please. I understand there's something like a £16.5 million deficit in the current budget, and I think if I'm right, 4 out of the last 5 years, the county has refused to increase the precept to its maximum capability, which has fed into a deterioration of the funds. And I just wondered what your comments about that situation, particularly in light of widespread concern about local government funding, with the collapse of Northampton, Somerset being on the brink of, and others.
And Newcastle recently announced, I think. Regarding the questions, there are discussions that are coming up. We are going to be holding meetings to discuss the budget and make proposals and address all the concerns that are being raised, and you'd like to be raised as well.
But am I right in thinking that you've just taken a decision already that you won't raise the...
We haven't made any decisions.
Council? Well, if I could just finish my question, that you made a decision already in principle to not raise the council tax the next time round more than 1%.
At the moment, we haven't made any concrete decisions. Which we haven't, because we haven't had the meeting yet, so we can't make any decisions. So, any more questions?
What our local county councillors which way are they planning to vote on this? What's their opinion?
When I have all the information, I'll make up my mind on that point, at that point. I can't give you an answer to something that I haven't had a discussion regarding these matters yet. So I cannot, how can I say how I'm going to vote? Until you've had a discussion.
I think you might do, but if you don't want to, that's fair enough.
I can't give you an honest answer if I don't know the facts. It's impossible. Okay, moving on. District Council.
I hope, at least those of you who've had an email, have had a report on that. I don't think I want to add a great deal to that. We've already covered some of the points on that. If we could make sure that Mike gets a printed copy, that would be helpful. Thank you. I don't think there's anything radically new to report. We had some conversations about communal rooms in the accompanying our sheltered housing, which is a widespread thing. So we're looking at how we might best use those facilities, because most of them are relatively underused at the moment. So that would be useful. So we've been around visiting all of them across the district. Claire and I have visited all of 3 local ones. I don't think there's anything significantly more, unless anybody's got particular questions arising out of that.
The green bin, you said this would be needs to charge for a second green bin. That's not a problem. What it says is that it's on the 1st of March. So are you going to send a separate filter? How do you know who's got an extra green bin?
Let me try and remember the detail. So I think the proposal is going to come forward on a part-year basis, which is 20 quid. Is that right?
Yeah, the 1st of March, you said.
Yes, that wouldn't align with an annual start date of April the 5th, 6th.
It's still close to the 1st of March, which is.
Right, so I'll have to check the details of this. So what I understood was that the £20 initial year was for part of the year, and then it would be 35 years, £35 per year thereafter.
Yeah, from the October you're going to do £35. So £20 from March to October.
I think we might have mixed up those. Let me check.
Okay, but how are you going to know who's got 2 green bins? Because some people...
we have very clever technology now. So that all the cabs for a collection actually register everything they do. So if you ring and complain that you haven't had your bin collected, they can actually tell you, while the bin is doing its round, this is live information that's sent back to South Camp. So the collection lorries, yes, did I say something different? Oh, sorry, yes, the technology is in the cab, and they will record. So per household, so if they collect 2 bins from you, they'll know that you've got 2 bins.
Yeah, but my neighbour puts green out, so that's how I'm laying outside. I know they're not 1 each isn't 2
Mrs.
more.
Mary, if you wish to game the system,
No, I'm just asking. I know, because some people do purple bins,
no.
they should. Sort of thing. I didn't know if there was a way if they knew about 2 bins.
And actually, if on their system they've still got a record of you purchasing another, then they will do. However, that wasn't always the case, because actually at one stage you could just ask for another.
No, I paid for one at the beginning.
Yes, I understand, but there was a different regime, so it's not necessary. So actually they would have, but the bin collectors are quite savvy about this stuff. And if they see repetitious behaviour, they can record it in their cab systems, and therefore, try and keep it honest, really. I mean, it's a question of fairness, really, isn't it? If you're getting double collections, then make a contribution. Oh, okay.
Joe.
Yeah, my question was about green bins as well. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry. I think there's something else you're going to have to check. And a point of unfairness, this point about people who have already paid for their second bin. Yeah, because it's unfair if they also are going to have to pay the fee each year. And it says in your report...
Sorry, if I may, that's not the issue. The issue isn't having the bin.
It's the collection.
It's the collection service that you are paying for, not for the bin itself. So if you want another bin now, you would have to pay. And I think it's a delivery charge rather than...
It is a delivery charge.
Yes.
You don't
own the bin. You get it delivered.
But you say here, if 3/4 it says here, if 3/4 of residents that currently have more than one bin decide to pay the extra fee, that implies it's optional for people who've at the moment got an extra bin. Could you check that? Because it makes it sound like it's optional. If 3/4 that currently have more than one bin decide to pay the extra fee, the policy change will raise about £80,000 a year.
So
is it a choice?
So you can decide not to pay for a service if you have... So if Jane has a second bin and says, but I don't want to pay £35, they can say, take it away.
They'll come and take it away.
Take the bin away. I don't want to use it.
Well, that isn't clear from that.
Well, I'm trying to clarify. You've asked the question. So
it's not clear.
The choice is whether you want and pay for the second bin service.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying now.
And the original bin was a delivery charge rather than a charge for the bin or the service.
Yes,
No, not if you go and deliver straight away at the beginning. I've actually got a receipt that says I paid for a bin with free delivery.
Yeah, we're probably
okay.
doing that as well.
Oh, okay, so they've changed the info again.
So it is not fairness. The other point I was going to make was about fully emptying the bins.
Yeah.
Now we're paying for this emptying of the bins. Will our second bin be fully emptied? Because ours often isn't.
And I've watched operators actually check that they've emptied the bin, and I've seen residual stuff in the base of the bin, even though they've checked.
A third of a bin in my neighbour's the other day.
Because there's no raised with the
I was just going to suggest the same thing. So we have a really quite efficient bin service. As I said, it's got a lot of technology in it, so that if you call, if you call and they've got enough time, they'll go while they're in the area. They'll return and rectify stuff that they've missed if they haven't collected bins, for example. So there is a value in reporting this stuff online because they've got the technology in the cab to react quite quickly to that. It doesn't mean they're perfect and they don't make mistakes and they don't fully empty every bin, but they're working on improving all of that. And we've got something like a 97.5% collection on the right day, but that doesn't mean, as I've had this past week, people saying our bins weren't collected this time. So some of that, for example, arises because the crews that are servicing us now are quite often city crews, because it's now a combined service with the city and district. And so if they're not familiar with the back roads or whatever, they and you've got a different driver or a different crew, so they're going to have to become used to their routes here as well. But it's being monitored and it's being improved all the time.
Yeah, I think the problem is for people, and it's not just me, it's the having to ring up to improve a service that you should have had. And also I know for a fact that in the past we've run the call centre, asked them to come back and empty the bin, and they haven't done so. So,
What do you mean, on the day or the following day?
Well, I mean, if you've been at work all day, you're not going to notice that your bin's not been emptied until the disposal van's not gone. So, it's...
They do, and if you're not getting that response, in other words, if your bin doesn't get collected on the day in question, it should be, and you're not getting it collected within the following 2 days, then you need to register that, because we need to know when this is working and when it's not, because otherwise we can't improve it. And I
Or
think
register it with you, register it with the relevant department.
it's better because all I can do is use the same system that you would do as a member of the public, because that's the right place for the data. And we have things that don't work perfectly, but we're absolutely on.
It's always worked fine for us whenever we
Trying
found
to
it in there the next
refine.
day. It's been terrific.
Bex,
Time banking, Brian, I don't know if you remember, I was one of the people who voted against this because I thought £12,000 was too much money to spend on a local exchange trading scheme. I've been involved in one of the parts and knew what the problems were. And you just noted it in your report. Could you make sure, if you have a chance, or if you get the chance to suggest to anyone, that there are clear criteria for measuring success defined at the beginning of the project, so that after we spent our £12,000 we got to the end of the 2-year pilot scheme, it's possible to actually judge whether it's been a success and not just cover it in PR fluff if it hasn't been. Because I think that'll be a useful
Yeah, I think it's perfectly reasonable.
thing to know going forward.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm concerned about it.
right?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Going back to dustbins, I've actually seen the dustbin collectors walk along and open the lid and look in and close it and forget about it.
Well, not, they won't be forgetting about it, Ray. What they'll be doing is they've got criteria over what they can collect, and and you will, if you want that data, you can go and ask the council, Environment Services, and they will give you reasons why any bin collection hasn't taken.
They have given leaflets as well.
They're not going to say they always used to. They always used to.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know what the current practice is, because they're definitely recording it in the cab.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the driver does, he has a console next to him in the cab.
Yes, I know, I've seen it.
Yeah, sure. So, but they do. So if they don't collect something, and for example, they record every house that they collect from, so that if a householder says you haven't collected my bin, they can actually give them evidence that they have. So this in-cab system is more sophisticated than it has been previously, and is designed to produce a better service. I mean, we'll see, but we'll respond accordingly if people have got more than anecdotal information about it. So, then we can test that.
Why? Is it because they've put stuff in there it shouldn't be?
Typically, yes. So maybe, for example, they put cardboard in the green bin instead of the blue bin.
But they should leave they should leave a note if that's the
Yes,
case.
they do.
They do.
Yeah.
So, but I think what Ray's talking about is instances where it's just not emptied.
No, they
With no...
They walk beyond the lorry, they'll open up one and they'll drop it down again and go on to the next one and bid that in.
But what I'm saying is that their system is to record that. So if you've got a query over a particular address, so if it's yours, you can phone up and ask them why they didn't collect. And that will be recorded at the time of refusal to collect.
If you say so.
Well, I know that's happening because I've seen the data that they're recording.
I have a couple of questions. Is how many bins are you suggesting that there is? Second bins for households that have?
It's about 3,000, just under.
But the press release says 2,300.
300. And scrutiny, sorry, I won't answer that because I did the calculation myself, the scrutiny committee, and the press release and the data that we got at scrutiny was incorrect. And the actual number is 2,900 and something, so just under 3,000.
Right, so, and regarding the 80,000, isn't that coming from an actual 100% reclaiming of what people actually paying towards it, rather than 75%? Because if you work out 75%, it doesn't come to 80,000.
I did work out 75%, which is of the 2,300, which is why it didn't add up. And when I asked the question of the Environmental Services Portfolio, lead member for Environmental Services, he said, yes, that's the wrong figure, I'm sorry. And he also apologised when it got repeated at Cabinet the following week.
So you're going to address that to the public, so they know?
I shall take that as an action.
The other thing as well, you're saying, coming back to your technology, you're saying, it's also put in there that it will be left to the binman's professional opinion. So is it going to be the binman's opinion, or is it going to be the technology's opinion?
That's going to be technology going to express an opinion.
So if the binman is saying, in his professional opinion, that that's a second bin and I'm not collecting it, what proof have you actually got? I'll give you an example. In my road, where I live, everybody just puts their bins out, and you can't actually tell what bin goes to what house. And the second part of that question is, if you are collecting the bins from the house, are the dustmen actually going to put the bins back to the house they collect them from?
Yes. Yes.
Because my neighbours are sick and tired of coming up and finding bins in the middle of their drives that they didn't put there.
So, yes, and I've had similar questions, similar problems with my own bins where they've ended up on neighbours' property. So, in answer to your first question, the situation of flats, for example, where bins are all put out en masse, is going to be more difficult to tell, but clearly, if there are 8 flats, let's say, and there are, let's say, 10
bins.
green bins, and somebody's trying to game the system, then that can be recorded on a frequent basis, and then a decision will have to be made, not by the bin man, but by the management, as to whether or not that is needs to be addressed, and if so, how it could be. Because actually enforcing that, as you've just rightly said, is going to be tricky, at best, and impossible at worst. Right. So it's a genuine concern, but what we're trying to do is make the whole system fairer and make sure that the people in the whole area of Greater Cambridge who now share the services for bin collection are paying the same rate if they've got extra bins. So this is just aligning us, and so the whole thing with this policy is to make it a written statement about the service level that you will have, what you will pay for it, and make it consistent over the whole new area, wider area.
Okay, a couple of other things is, I understand from a cabinet meeting was held and the scrutiny team didn't have a chance to scrutinise the mid-term financial strategy. But it was still presented. Why wasn't it called?
I raised the very question. And this is why I had a meeting with the leader and the chief executive next week on Wednesday, I think, to answer that very question. Because the reason that you know about it is because I raised that question.
You did raise that question. And the other one is with regard to the community chest grant. I understand that you've reviewed the community chest grant, or reviewed, and certain things are in it that are something you're considering certain things. Number one, that only villages who have less than 160 electorate can actually apply for a community chest grant. Secondly, things like the Scouts or a club or anything that's on PC land, the PC will have to actually give 50% towards that grant made. So just for clarity is parish councils are also now not allowed to apply for community chest grants on their own. It has to come within the community. So where do we stand if the community, the organisation is using parish council land? How does it work?
So the community grant scheme has been under review since we came into office, and it is still not fully deliberated. But what we wanted to do, and the reason that we examined it, or are examining it, is to make the whole thing fair. And the difficulty that we've got is, let's take a local example. Previously, under the previous scheme, Abraham could ask for as much money as Sawston could. Well, clearly, there's no pro rata element of that process. So it would be quite possible for all councils, irrespective of their size, to claim the same sums of money. And so that was one of the issues that we wanted to address. What was your other question about?
The fact that
the parish council making a contribution.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I hadn't seen that detail. That's something I've either missed or wasn't in the documentation that I got. But I know that it's being reviewed by their own committee.
And parish councils that have only parish council that have been less than 160 electors could actually potentially apply, but large parish councils can't.
So large parish councils can't apply. Well, look, I'm quite happy to take the questions and examine the thing in more detail than I have already, so I'll report back to you.
And very lastly, very quickly, taking into consideration the latest press release by Mr. Bick on the congestion charge, he thinks it should be brought back, and I understand that there was a motion put to council against the congestion charge, and it was voted down.
Yes,
where does South Cambs stand on congestion charge?
The specific issue of a congestion charge was we did not want to tie our hands because congestion charging may actually be a pertinent component of traffic management issues in and out of the city. It was posited by the opposition, the Conservative opposition, that it would effectively be a tax on people going into the city, which we don't accept as a concept, and we want to keep that as an option, as a part of a possible solution for congestion relief in the city.
So you're going to charge them for the green?
No, don't extrapolate what I've just said, Kevin. Please, no, it's leaving our options open rather than restricting them.
Then why don't you support the motion?
Because that would have restricted our options.
Okay, moving on. Thank you very much. Councillors, issues and agendas for the next item, starting with you, Mike.
You haven't done the
You missed the correspondence.
I'll go on. Any correspondence?
Yes, so that's from the Magpie Aaron.
It's on there.
Okay.
Any other correspondence apart from that? No?
RBL
So it's noted that thank you letter from Magpie Ambulance for donation, and thank you for the letter from the RBL for the donation again. Okay?
Royal British Legion.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, just because it was an abbreviation.
I don't want to cavil, but I didn't see on the printed order of service on Sunday, I didn't see an acknowledgement to Sawston Parish Council.
No, I didn't. I also noticed it wasn't mentioned either.
No, well, I can forgive Alan because I think that he was making that up, but it just made me remember that there wasn't actually anything on the printed document. And I think we did specifically ask when we made that donation that, in fact, we ask it when we make every donation, but I think it would be politic to remind all the people we make donations to that they need to acknowledge us, and there was an opportunity to that was completely missed.
Was it also clear to councillors when they voted to approve that it was for a booklet that was only going to be used once? Because I don't remember that being made clear on the application.
I think it was.
I think it was very clear, actually.
Okay, thank you for that, Kevin. Councillors' issues. Mike.
Sawston Stowford cycleway.
Yeah.
Between Spices Gate and our farm gate, so that's in front of the cemetery. Could you find out whether the contractors are on lunch break, because they can't do that bit?
It's part of the cycleways on there is coming on, they are dealing with it, and they will be, because there was two people up outside the cemetery gates, and at the gates of the Spicers, from there looking at it, Thursday or Friday last week. Okay, so yes, it's...
So they've forgotten that bit, so
Yeah.
I reckon on lunch break.
Right.
And the other bit is, I don't suppose we've got any traffic lights to spare somewhere, because outside our entrance to the farm, the cycles there come off the cycleway onto the road.
Yeah.
They come off the road onto the cycleway. We get abused when we're waiting to go out from our drive, because you can't go out if vehicles are coming. Nobody knows who's got the right of way, the cycles, or we have when we're waiting to go out.
So you want clarification of right
Yes,
of way?
please.
Okay, no trouble.
Everywhere else,
You've
they've
got right
give way
of way.
signs.
Sorry, you've got rights of way. Cycle paths don't have rights of way, and that's one of the reasons actually why keen cyclists and fast cyclists prefer to use the road rather than using a cycle path, because if they're on the main carriageway, they have rights of way on the road, which they don't have on the cycle path.
There is a consultation going on at the moment, isn't there, to adjust or amend the highway code, which would give priority to pedestrians and cyclists. It's going through discussions and consultation at the moment. Yeah, if you have a look. Yeah, I heard something on the radio about it. Yeah.
Because the other week there was
how they have to. Sorry.
there was a delivery van going out of our drive, and the cyclist drove it.
I wouldn't damage the van.
Well, it did dent it. The cyclist was
Okay.
driving the van.
Anything else, Mike? Kevin?
Nothing, thank you.
Right.
Yes, seeing that we have done for years and years and years, had a Christmas party with the parish councillors, I'd like to say introduce doing excuse me, a Santa, you know, where you get
Secret Santa.
Secret Santa.
You've been reading my emails, haven't you?
Obviously. Someone else.
I thought of
I
this.
think the assistant clerk might have. So after you announced the coffee morning, I said, "Can we have a Secret Santa?" Mine was more as a joke. I
I've got the impression it was.
Now you know the dangers of sarcasm.
Because I'm not sure what I did for a fire.
No, exactly.
I think we said, not for me, I think the coffee, biscuits and everything is, we can all meet and have a chat there. And if you donate or give someone a gift, then...
But it goes like you pick a name out of the hat.
I know. If I had to pick your name, I'd be in trouble.
Well, it's the same with me.
Would you like to just hold a decisive vote about it to cut to the chase, because otherwise we're going to run out of time?
Yes, but well,
All right, all those in favour of Secret Santa?
I'm in favour.
Oh, if you want to take a vote, very quickly,
Rob and Ray are giving each other presents.
who's in favour of Secret Santa? Two. Right, moving on, Tony.
Yes. A couple of months ago, I brought up about the drain problem in the car park, President's car park.
Yes, you did, and I have sent some photographs off, and I haven't had any response yet. I'm still waiting, and I'll let you know when I hear anything. I'll
Thank you.
chase it.
It's just an open sewer, if you like. So it's health and safety. But
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cover me in.
Okay. I'll show you
Thank
what
you.
I've done.
Well,
Okay, I want to say that the
list short.
Yeah, CPR session was absolutely fantastic. Can we make sure that we do that every year? Because when they were here, they said they were going to do it every couple of years. So just so we've got every year people to learn about DFIBs and CPR stuff.
That'd be really good.
And the other thing is just heading south out the village, people parking really inconsiderately, but as we're all aware, there's various looking at how we can ease traffic issues in Sawston. But it's just getting ridiculous where you've got people parked up on double the lines, No one really cares.
As a policeman.
It's just, yeah.
And the Secret Santa.
And the Secret Santa, yeah. But yeah, no, it's getting to the point now where I know the traffic lights have just gone from by the Sawston Trade Park, but around there you've got vans on both sides, people stopping, people deciding, let's not stop, let's make chicken. So, yeah, just want to get that off my chest.
Good.
A few things about bonfire night. I thought the fireworks display was absolutely fantastic. What I found very disturbing was the volume of the music that was played. And I think if I'm not particularly sensitive to things like that, and there must be people who are more sensitive than me, the fireworks are fine because you kind of expect a noise, but pounding music that you can't get away from, I actually found that really stressful. I think there are a few issues with it. One is that actually you sort of lose the community feel. You can't hear the fireworks properly, you can't hear what people are saying, you can't hear when children are gasping, you can't talk to your neighbours. So you kind of, you lose all the value of having a huge village event like that. I was also slightly worried about the safety aspect. At one point there were some fireworks that came, there were some bits of flaming stuff that came down in the crowd, and I was worried that actually if anybody had been hurt, you couldn't hear what was happening, and you couldn't have gone across and just said quietly, is everything okay? Because you couldn't hear yourself.
Well, we actually did respond to it going up and the father going well there in no time. Very sharp.
But I'm just worried about the volume of the music. I thought it was unpleasant. The other thing was the prize giving, which delayed the start of the fireworks, and because it's completely invisible and people can't get through to the crowd, I wonder if we could find an alternative way of doing that. Also, there were lots of people asking on Facebook, not sure who'd won, not knowing anything about it, not knowing how to collect prizes. Could we not simply
instead of
announce that on our...
straight to the council and ask the council where can they collect it?
Yeah, could we not just announce that on our website instead? It's a lot of time to
I have no problems with that at all.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to say where people are standing.
I mean, the beginning part, the voice giving, is purely for the children, and we do it. It's a bit of fun for them. They look forward to bringing up the guys. I thought this year's guy, the Donald Trump, was absolutely superb.
The thing is that they're completely invisible to everybody except the people inside in that particular area.
Well, I mean, maybe we could just think about the logistics of it, but at the moment it just seems completely pointless that,
Well, I personally would carry on with the way that we're doing it, so it's something we can look into possibly later.
But I really want to raise the issue of the music because it could be uncomfortably loud.
Could this be something that Recreation can talk about sometime between now and next November? So.
Yeah, I wanted to raise it now while it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Colin?
Couple of things. Down Church Lane, we have a nice shiny new lamppost. It doesn't actually give out any nice shiny new light.
Oh, it needs to be connected, doesn't it?
Well, it does indeed, yes. And
We've
we
been
are
on about that for 2
onto
months.
that. We are nagging them about that actually. But it's somewhat of a triumph to get the lamppost replaced.
That's it, we've not told you.
Well, I mean, we're told it takes about 6 weeks for power supply companies to come around.
To be fair, it's not even whatever the contractors.
Can we Colin's ready, can you hand over, because I'm aware of the time, but otherwise...
I'll just mention 2 words, website, then I'll go away.
Thank you.
Okay,
it's on the agenda for FMGP.
Yeah, that's been dealt with. Neil?
Yeah, Findus, I did ask recently whether there was a sub-clause about subletting the site in our lease.
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm not aware
Have we got any constraints on that?
We should have a look.
Well, there was a break in this.
No, that's not relevant. It's whether they can sell.
Whether they can select it.
Well, yes, but if they were selling it, it would be a break.
Sorry, yeah.
Good point.
And then the next one is the Findus site. Do we know what's happening to it?
Yes.
What?
They moved the cars out because the VW contractor said they want 16 cars minimum. The site wasn't big enough.
We
The
know
site
that,
is still
but
going to be used for maintenance and repairs, as far as I'm aware.
And following Tony's point, can we introduce the action list like we used to, so we can see if there are things that keep on getting missed?
There were actions that were noted, wasn't there?
And we have it as a proper list, like we used to have.
That's a very good idea.
And then the next one, new road street sign is missing over there. It's been missing for some time. By the traffic lights.
That's a county council thing.
District. street signs district.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Making a note.
That's it.
Okay, nothing? Brian?
Just to reinforce Neil's point, can we ask Vindas, please?
Yes?
As a landlord,
Yeah.
what their intention
Yeah.
is?
That's a fair comment.
Because
Can we just...
Lamppost, we mentioned before about LED upgrades, and I understand that Balfour PC are being commissioned by, under their PFI contract to do an upgrade to LEDs, which, if that's true, and there was a limit on which lampposts would do, but that would make a big difference to the amount of light that they're giving out and therefore make our streets look better. So I hope that's true. Perhaps, Kevin, you could check on that for us, please.
Send me an email.
CPE measures, bad parking. We have got a task group in district to take that on board. We've already spoken to the police about it. We're now taking reference from local councils that have them or don't have them. So Hunts, for example, did a piece of research in terms of what it would cost them to do a civilian parking enforcement scheme. We're one of the very few, I think there's only 5 out of 216 councils in the country that, this is Cambridgeshire county-wide, that don't have a CPE, but it's largely because we're a rural area with no significant on or off-street parking charges. So that's under investigation, and we're continuing to look at the PCSO option as well. Drains, just Tony mentioned, we've also got a commitment from the County Council to do Mill Lane drains now. They were found to be blocked when crowd days, crew days.
Can we, because have got another word, we've got to discuss it. Can we move on, Sharpish? No, can you give us a report, briefing report on the responses, please?
Well, this was just feeding back from other councils.
Yeah, well, I've got to make...
That's fine.
Yeah.
Done.
Right. I don't know what I'm saying. Can you just give us a listen? Yeah. David?
Yeah, just on the point of Vindas, so we talked about people who actually use them for servicing. They also use the service operation off that site, and there's clearly nothing going on there at the moment. So I think we do urgently.
Yeah, we will look into that together.
I'll be very quick. First is, say how nice the cemetery is looking. Anyone who's interested in trees should go up there because it looks really nice at the moment. And we'd like to thank the groundsman and Mike for all the work that's been done there. It really does look nice, particularly in the autumn. Second thing about the village design statement, I was going to give a quick update because, as you know, we got £10,000 worth of funding to carry forward the village design statement, and we've got a consultant working on that. They're doing well, and there's been various things going on in the village. I'll get it minuted if that's okay. Yeah. But just one thing to say to do with Winter Fair night. We want to have a stand somewhere. Probably it will have to be in the parish council offices now. So we'll try and sign that so Cathy can do a bit more engagement with families, etc. And that will probably be from out of school time to pick up families as well as during the evening. So thanks to everyone who's been supporting that.
Thank you. All right, I have nothing, so we can go into the pursuant of section 1